All right, everybody, get ready because in this deep dive, we're going way back behind like all the glitter and the platform shoes
Yeah,
to really kind of get a look at the man behind the icon, Elton John.
I love it.
And we're going to be talking all about this documentary, Elton John, Never Too Late,
Right?
which is giving us like a totally new look at his life, his career.
Yeah.
And to help us break it all down, we've got some amazing insights directly from the filmmaker, who also happens to be Elton's husband, David Furnish.
Wow, to be a fly on the wall in that house, huh?
Right. I mean, talk about a front row seat to music history.
Exactly. And to think we get this really intimate look at Elton John, but through the eyes of someone who has been there, through it all, the
Yeah,
highs, the lows.
I know. And you know what else I thought was really interesting?
What's that?
They found this, get this, a lost Rolling Stone interview
Oh, wow.
from the 70s, just tucked away in the New York Public Library archives.
No way.
Can you imagine like a piece of music history just sitting there?
Just waiting to be rediscovered.
Yeah.
It's really unbelievable what you can find in those archives.
I know.
And this interview, from what I understand, it was like the peak of his fame,
Oh, yeah.
So to get his perspective from that time, it could offer some really interesting insight, I think, into, Elton John. He was those early years, he had those incredible highs and lows, pushing boundaries and everything.
Right.
And I think grappling with his identity a lot in those early years as well.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes you wonder what was going through his head, How was he processing it all?
Totally. It's like getting a window into, his state of mind at the time.
Exactly.
But it doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. So get this. They also found footage of Elton's performance with John Lennon.
Ooh.
And this is crazy because for years, everyone thought this recording was gone forever.
Lost, gone, never to be seen again.
I know. It just blows my mind.
Wow, talk about a piece of music history.
Hmm.
John Lennon joining Elton on stage, and not long before the tragic end for John Lennon.
Right.
It must have been electric.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, David Furnish has said that this concert wasn't just about the music. It really reflected these really profound themes about life
Yeah.
and death and just the power of connection and how strong that is.
Wow. That's amazing. Just those layers of meaning, within the performance.
Right.
And speaking of David Furnish, being both a life partner and then also the filmmaker.
Right.
That's got to be, I don't know, it's just such a fascinating perspective to come from.
It's really interesting. It really is.
It seems like such a delicate dance to capture the essence of Elton John,
Yeah.
the icon, right? But then also reveal the man behind the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really makes you think, though, like documenting a rock star's life is one thing.
Right.
But to do it when it's like your husband, that's a whole other level.
Talk about a story to tell the grandkids.
I know, right?
Furnish actually said it got, pretty intense at times.
Oh.
Especially when they were exploring some of those, big life questions as Elton's touring career was kind of, winding down.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Right.
Did he happen to mention any, like, specific moments where he found it really hard to balance wearing both hats, like the filmmaker hat and then the husband hat?
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause it's got to be tough trying to stay objective and everything.
Well, he did say that I think one of the biggest surprises for like the film crew and everybody
Mhm.
was the lack of, well, he said tantrums
Oh, wow.
during filming.
Okay.
There's this, I think, perception of Elton John being this larger than life personality.
Oh, for sure.
But for Furnish, really painted this picture of Elton really finding genuine joy on this final tour.
Oh,
Like he was really soaking in all the love from the fans and everything.
that's really sweet.
Yeah.
That's really nice to hear.
Yeah. And it really does suggest a level of like peace and self-awareness
Yeah.
that maybe wasn't there before,
Right, right. Especially in those earlier years. Like, it really drives home the point of never too late.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It really shows how much he's grown and how content he is now, And it seems like that's a really important theme in this whole documentary. Like Elton's priorities shifting, And remember that story that Furnish told about Elton, like, stopping filming to FaceTime his sons?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, like right in the middle of everything. Hold on, guys. Got to talk to my boys.
Right. And it was just so, unscripted,
Yeah.
just like authentic, and you could just feel the love.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And it just reminds you that, even with all the fame and everything, it's those connections that are important.
It's true. It's so true. And, for Elton John specifically, it seems like family really has taken center stage.
Yeah.
especially with touring and everything behind him now.
Yeah, it really is. Like, we're watching this new chapter of his life unfold, and it makes you think about what success really means for him now?
Yeah. Because it's probably a lot different than maybe how he saw it back in the day when he was like on top of the world.
Totally, yeah. Like, what's important to him now?
Exactly. And I think that's what this documentary is really getting at. That shift from, chasing fame to finding that inner peace.
It's a good lesson for all of us, really.
It really is.
And taking this whole journey through his life, the highs, the lows, it makes you wonder what really makes a life well lived, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, is it all the applause, the awards, or is it something more, I don't know, something more personal? Maybe it's striking that balance, going after your dreams, but holding on to the things that really matter.
I think you hit the nail on the head. And as we kind of close the curtain on this deep dive into Elton John's world,
Yeah.
I think we're left with a really interesting question. What will your never too late story be?